human capital is the most critical asset that you will need in the long run. Right. More than oil, more than capital and anything else, because if you develop the right human capital, you will probably always be able to attract the capital. So human capital is essential. So I don't want, again, to be misunderstood. Mm-hmm. Now, if you only put money into education and you don't do anything else, mm-hmm. well, what you do is that you train people who leave the country. Mm-hmm. You were talking about Malawi. I had the luxury of talking with the former president, the late President Mutharika of Malawi, who was an economics professor before becoming president. And then he told me this amazing story that when he was an economics professor, he felt that he should run for office, become president, but with one idea. He said, I will become president, and then when I leave, people will remember me for having solved one problem in Malawi. And he became president, and he picked, from what he said, as his major issue, the training of health workers, especially nurses. So he decided that long after his death, people in Malawi will remember him for having trained the best nurses in Malawi. So he put a lot of resources to train nurses in Malawi. Mm-hmm. And yes, they did a very good job. Guess what? As soon as the word got out that the best nurses in Africa, in the world, were being trained in Malawi, the UK, the United Kingdom government, launched a program to recruit all of them. So even before they finished and completed their studies, they all had contract and jobs in London, which is good because of your remittance idea, right. Except that when you train a wonderful young lady in Malawi and she leaves the country, mm-hmm. even if she's in London sending remittances, which is good, you will not develop the countries with remittances alone. Mm-hmm. More important, you are losing a role model. Mm-hmm. When you have a young, well-trained young woman in any neighborhood, there are 20 young women and boys who look up to her. Mm-hmm. and want to be like her one day. Mm-hmm. The way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she asserts her rights and so on, the mm-hmm. way she takes care of herself. Mm-hmm. There are positive externalities there that you would not put in an equation when mm-hmm. you run a regression to see the impact of remittances on growth, because you're missing so many important and critical variables. I'm not belittling remittances. Right. I myself, as Cameroonian living abroad, I've been sending half of my salary for the past 30 years to Cameroon. But guess what?
I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to that.
But it hasn't changed a lot in Cameroon. It may help pay a bill here, even build a small house for my uncle, but that's not how you develop a country. Remittances is a good source of financing, but you need to have a strategy. So, and look at the case of Cameroon, which I know best. We have a fantastic polytechnic school in Yaoundé, which is funded by government money. So it's a free school. Free, meaning that the poor Cameroonian are taxed to pay for it. Well, we train excellent engineers, but most of them are in Canada, in Belgium, in the US, as soon as they get their degree. So in a sense, Cameroon or Malawi are subsidizing rich countries by training excellent people who go and work there. And I don't think that the remittances compensate enough for that, mm-hmm. and certainly do not generate the kind of mechanics that you need to grow the country. So I think you need to have a comprehensive growth strategy.